All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Crew Show with a little 49er video. The Niners cutting Isaiah Oliver. We'll discuss it coming up next. But first, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. 2 spots. They're both open from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. They're open 7 days a week from that time. Go get the brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. You will not go wrong with Pig and a Pickle. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check the link in the description. Use the promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right, let's talk a little bit about the news of the day. The 49ers announced today they have released cornerback Isaiah Oliver. Oliver, 6 feet, 202-pound safety / corner, really more of a nickel corner. He originally signed with the Niners on March 15th of 2023, and this season he appeared in 17 games, 6 starts. He registered 58 tackles, 2 passes defensed. He had 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery. He also appeared in all 3 of their postseason games. He's a 26-year-old native of Phoenix, Arizona. He went to the University of Colorado for 3 years, where he appeared in 36 games there. He had 82 tackles, 32 passes defense, 3 interceptions. And then while he was there at Colorado, he became a first-team All-Pac-12 honoree as a junior in 2017. So overall for Oliver, he finishes the season with a 78.6% completion percentage allowed. That's according to Sports Info Solutions, which is not good. I mean, that's obviously a very high completion percentage. He lost his starting job coming out of the bye week to Ambry Thomas. And that's when the defense really took off. I mean, when they put Ambry Thomas on the field and moved Oliver to the bench, the pass defense got much, much better. He just didn't have the ability to mirror receivers. He's kind of long cut. He's not really an ideal fit at safety or at corner. At corner, he doesn't have the body control to mirror receivers up and down the field. At safety, he doesn't have the bulk or the hitting ability to really be a factor in the run game. So, I mean, the Niners took a big gamble on, a player in Oliver who they liked, who had success against them. If you remember, it was Oliver that came away with an interception when the Niners lost to the Falcons in Atlanta the previous year. And, I think they fell in love with him. Steve Wilks probably signed off on it a little bit as well, since he had experience there in Carolina in the division. And, we thought we were going to see Oliver's kind of athleticism that he showed at Colorado return in 2023, but he was never the same player that, made him a second round pick in the 2018 draft. I mean, I saw him at Colorado. He was much more electric as far as his movement ability. He was faster. He was more sudden. He had better change of direction. With the 49ers, he looked very straight line-ish, very stiff, leggy, really had a hard time mirroring receivers. And he was just so susceptible to double moves. Anybody that gave him a double move just left him in the dust. So, I mean, I interviewed him a couple times. Great guy. I mean, you're not going to find a better guy. He's a solid guy, and I'm sure he'll continue his NFL career for another year or two. But it wasn't a good fit. Wasn't a good fit, and he didn't really do anything in this defense that others couldn't do better. Could he play the slot? Yeah, but Demo Lenore was much better in the slot. I mean, far better in the slot. And then going forward, I mean, I think you could make an argument that Lenore's best position moving forward is that slot corner. And then when Lenore, had to move outside late in the year, like in the Super Bowl, did Wilks go to Oliver? No, he went to Logan Ryan and filled in that role during the Super Bowl. And, per over the cap, the Niners will save now with this move $2.4 million they gain in cap space. There will be a $1.46 million dead money hit this year and a $1.09 million hit in 2025 that the Niners have to eat. So there is some pain involved here. The contract was set to void in 2025 for cap purposes, but unfortunately, it's in their best interest to move on from Isaiah Oliver and just kind of see if they can find better players in free agency or the draft. And if you look at that secondary right now, man, it's a young group. And I understand why they wanted a veteran like Oliver. He's a solid guy. He works hard, watches film, and is very detail oriented. And they had a very young secondary room without a lot of experience. And they were sitting there going, well, wait a second. We got all these young guys. We need somebody we can count on. And I think probably Wilkes signed off on him, but it just never materialized. So going forward right now, they have Mooney Ward at one corner. They have Ambry Thomas at another corner. They have Demo Lenore at the nickelback. They've got Hufanga at strong safety. You also have Jair Brown. Tayshaun Gibson is a free agent. They're probably gonna let him walk away. That would be my guess. Logan Ryan, I should say, is a free agent as well. He'll walk away. And then they've got some other young DBs that they really like. Darrell Luter Jr., Samuel Womack, George Odom is a stalwart as a special teams ace. He's an all-pro special teams player, or at least a Pro Bowl caliber player. So if you look at it, Ward, Hufanga, Thomas, Lenore, Luter, Jair, Odom, Womack. So you got 8 DBs right there that you can go forward with. Personally, I kind of like Taylor Hawkins. So there's your 9th DB. They also have guys like, Eric Harris could be in the mix if they wanted to use him. But now they'll go into either free agency or the draft, and they'll probably look for 1 or 2 additions to their secondary. Probably going to sign, I would say, at least one safety, or sign or draft, I should say, at least one safety and probably 2 corners, maybe more. Might be 2 safeties and 3 corners, but I would imagine they will bring in some new bodies both in the draft and in free agency to try to fill out the remaining open spots in their secondary. And as far as Oliver goes, you make these moves. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It wasn't one of those things where he didn't work hard. He worked plenty hard. I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't attentive to detail or didn't fit the defense. He had just lost his mirroring ability as a corner, and he's not much as a run defender. He made some big plays at times this year, and there was times where he made some surprisingly good plays. He had a couple of really good halves of football for sure this year. It wasn't like Oliver was just a total bust. But if you just look at it going forward, when you look at the money and you look at their secondary, he's just not a fit. He's just not a fit. I mean, Lenore's a better nickel, and he was brought in to be a nickel. He had a great year in Atlanta. If you look at the Pro Football Focus grades, playing as a nickel corner, he struggled in his first couple of years at coming out of Colorado playing outside, but he'd seemed to find a home in that, trying to defend the two-way break as the nickel corner. But the more, when you looked at things, Ambry Thomas was better against the run and provided tighter coverage. And that was so once they could play Ambry outside and have a little confidence there, and not a ton of confidence, but a little, they felt like they could move Lenore inside. Well, when they moved Lenore inside, I think he started to show that that's his natural spot. I mean, Diamador Lenore was really strong against the run. He was a physical hitter. He could cope with the two-way break. Very, very good man-to-man cover skills, I thought, as a nickelback. And he doesn't have huge speed. That's kind of his weakness. So I would imagine they'll look for somebody else as well that has a little bit more speed at the corner in this upcoming draft. But Lenore's better inside than Oliver. And then Ambry was both provided better, tighter coverage, and he was a stronger run supporter as well. So when you're better against the run and you're better against the pass, that means that you're better. And Ambry Thomas, even though he wasn't perfect, he was better. And then Oliver's best spot was the nickel, but once Lenore popped inside and really started to play, it was clear to everybody that Lenore was superior in the nickel. So it just wasn't a great fit. Oliver will move on. He'll get another fresh start somewhere else, and the Niners gain a little cap room and a little flexibility. And now look for them to add a piece or two, both at safety and corner, in the draft or free agency this upcoming offseason. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all you guys for supporting The Krug Show. on YouTube.